Okay. So like I said, I have a folder here named CloudFormation. I have a folder named HTML inside, and I'm going to create the CloudFormation template inside the CloudFormation folder. So we're going to create a CloudFormation template that contains a stack, an OpsWorks stack. So we're going to create that, and then we're going to move to OpsWorks and deploy uh, the app there. So let me open a browser and come to my, this is not gonna work. So it asks me to log in again, but that's okay. So I'm gonna log in because I want to compare what I'm doing in CloudFormation with what I have in the console. So you guys can see how similar it is. So we're getting almost the same things here, okay? So I'm going to start at your first stack, and I'm going to choose this guy, okay? So we're going to have all this, or maybe, yes, we're going to have all this as we go in CloudFormation, and you're going to notice that there's going to be a service role, all these guys, right? So we're going to look for this guy in IAM, because we're going to need these guys for the for the template, right? Now, first thing I'm going to do is create the HTML file. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it differently this time, because before I created the OpsWorks stack and the layer and the instance and the app, and then I created the HTML file, and then I pushed it to GitHub. So I'm going to do it differently right now. I'm going to create the HTML file first. So I'm going to say index.html, right? And I'm going to type a few things here that I have. Okay. So maybe, well, let me go ahead and do it here. So HTML, right? So I'm going to say head, like I always do for the styling, right? And then so here, I'm going to have style, right? Good. So right now I'm going to have the body, right? And in the body, I'm going to have a section. And the section is going to be named header section. Header section. And then in the header section, I'm going to say, congratulations. Okay. You have deployed an OpsWorks PHP application in CloudFormation. Right? So that's going to be H1. That's it. I'm going to have another div. And the div class is going to be class is going to be announcement class. Announcement section. And here, I'm going to say H2 maybe demo announcement. So that's it about the display in the browser. I'm gonna do some styling now. First, I'm gonna have the header section. Remember, I'm using a class, so class here. So classes are identified by dot, right? And the other one is the announcement section, right? So the first one is going to have margin auto. Is going to have text align center, background color, is going to be red, color is going to be black, width is going to be 70%, border 2 pixels solid black, and box shadow is going to be 12 pixels every size. Okay, that's going to be the header section. Now, the announcement section, margin auto, text align, it's going to be center. Margin top is going to be 60% or 60 pixels, I'm sorry. Width is going to be 30%. Background color is going to be green. And color is going to be white. Okay, so this is it. This is all we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to paste this on Slack. You guys can see it, can have it, right? Okay. Right. I press it on Slack, so we can see this in the browser. Let's see how what it looks like. Okay. Okay. So this is what we see here. Okay. So something like this is what we're going to see in the browser when we launch this, when we launch this template in OpsWorks CloudFormation. Okay. So now that we have this, let us move to GitHub and let us create another. Or maybe we can use this one. Okay, maybe this one. No, I'm going to delete this one and create a new one. So I'm going to go ahead, delete this guy, and create a different one. Okay. So that one is gone. Okay. So I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to name it CFN OpsWorks. And CFN is the short for CloudFormation. Okay. It's not something that I made up. It's something that is standard. Okay. Now that I have this, right, the name here, I can go ahead and create a repo, right? Okay. So I can go ahead and move to that particular folder right here, right? Open a terminal, right? And here I can say git init, right? I just initialize an empty repository. Now I can create a text. Maybe I can say echo. This is the cloud formation template that creates an OpsWorks stack. Right? I can redirect this to a README file, right? Right? That creates a README file here, as you can see, right? And I'm going to push those guys to the template, to GitHub repo. So now I say git add, right? Git commit. First commit, right? Now continue the instructions here. I guess I'd say git branch master, right? I say git origin, this guy here. Okay, perfect. And now just say git push dash u origin master. And that's it. Perfect. So now if I refresh this page, I will be able to see our index.html file, and we'll be able to see my README file. Okay, perfect. So now I can maybe use this guy, right? And it will be a little bigger, okay? So now I can commit this guy. And don't forget that when you do that, you have to do a git pull because you made a change, okay? You made a change, so you have to do a git pull, all right? Perfect. Very good. So now we have the CloudFormation, another CloudFormation, the HTML file created. We have the HTML file and the README file pushed to the GitHub repository. We're ready to create our CloudFormation template, okay? So inside the CloudFormation template, I'm gonna create a file and call it CFN OpsWorks, okay? And then it's gonna be a YAML file, okay? Now, parameters is the first section, right? So we're gonna have a key name, like we've done before, key name, right? And the type of the key name, right? Guys, who's following me? Who's following me? Anyone?
I am, but I'm having problems with GitHub.
Yeah. I mean, strongly suggest that from now you watch me because I'm going to use for this template, I'm going to use an instance type that is not in the frontier, right?
Okay.
So the type of AWS EC2 key pair key name, right? that's the first parameter. The second parameter is going to be a VPC ID, right? And the type is going to be AWS EC2 VPC ID. Because we want to get all the VPCs that are in our account. Okay. And the subnet ID, we're going to do the same thing, right? The type is going to be AWS EC2 VPC, now VPC subnet ID. All right, so that's going to be the parameters, right? 3 parameters: the key, the VPC ID, and the subnet ID. Okay. Now the resources section. Right? We're going to create a stack. So we're going to create our OpsWorks stack. Right? All right, so we say my demo stack. That's going to be the logical name. The type is going to be, remember that every resource has a type, okay? AWS, OpsWorks, stack, okay? That's the type. The properties for this stack, okay? The property is going to be a name. The name is going to be demo stack, maybe web app stack. Okay, that's going to be our name. The service role, ARN, because we need a service role ARN, right? Now, if you take a look at the actual stack here, we have an IAM role, which is a service role here, right? And we have an instance profile. So we need those guys. So let us go ahead and go to IAM, right? And let us get the ARN of those guys. Okay. So let us look for OpsWorks, right? Okay, so we have the service role here, and we have the instance profile here. This is the instance profile, and this is the service role. Okay, so I'm gonna get the ARN of the instance profile first. Well, let me get the service role first. So I'm gonna copy this in a CloudFormation template, right? Right, so we're gonna have that guy. And then a little lower, a little further, I'm gonna say default instance profile ARN. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that guy as well. This is the instance profile ARN. This is the one that we need. And I'm gonna copy here because I'm gonna need it. Okay. Okay, perfect. This is all we need here. So now I'm gonna use a function. I'm gonna use a function that is gonna join all the pieces here. All the pieces. We have like different sections here. We have this section here. We have the account number, and we have the rest of the ARN. Okay, so we have 3 pieces, right, in this ARN. So I'm going to use the function join. Okay, we're going to use the function join. The function join to join the 3 pieces in the ARN, and we can have the ARN, right? So I'm going to say the first one is this, right? And then the second one is going to be like this. I'm going to have the second one. So I'm going to have the first part, which is this one, up to the 2 columns. Okay, that's going to be the first part. The second one is I'm going to use a global variable, which is for the account ID, because I don't want to hard code this. I want this template to be good for every single person and every single account, not for mine only. If I hard code here, this here is going to be only good for my account, right? So I'm going to use the ref function, and I'm going to refer to a variable that is global, and that will, at runtime, it will pick up the actual account number that is running this template. Okay, so this is dynamic. Okay, this is dynamic. No matter what account you have, but this is the account number, and you're going to have the same thing. No matter what account you have, this will pick up this guy or whatever account you're using. Okay, and then the last part is the last part of the row, which is this one here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say this, and I have this. That's it. That's the function of the join function, to join all this so that we can have the ARN exactly as it is in IAM and exactly as OpsWorks is going to use it, right? Like here. Of course, this is the name, but it's using that in the background. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other guy, right? I'm going to use the function join, right? Right. I'm going to say this and 1 and 2 and have the first bar, which is this one. Right here. Then I'm going to have this guy as well, account ID. Okay. And then I'm going to have the third part, which is the rest of the row, ARN. Okay, perfect. Right. That's all I need for now. Okay. Good. So he's using that. Now, I continue. Right now, I'm going to have the default SSH key name, right? And that's going to refer to the key name parameter, right? The key name parameter. Okay. I'm going to have the VPC ID, and that's going to refer to the VPC ID parameter, right? That's what I have here. Key names here. Perfect. I'm going to have the default subnet ID, default subnet ID, and that's going to refer to subnet ID. All right. And then the tags, I'm going to say key, stack name. Remember the name is taken, is reserved in OpsWorks. So we have to use stack name. And the value, we're going to say demo CFN CloudFormation, OpsWorks. Stack. Right? So this is our stack. Okay, this is our stack. Right now, what we're going to do is create our layer, right? Remember, first stack, then the layer, right? So now creates sorry, creates a layer, right? Now the layer is going to be called maybe PHP layer. PHP layer. Right? Okay. The type is going to be an OpsWorks layer. All right. It depends on the stack, right? So the name of the stack, well, actually, it depends on the app. Okay. Let me see here. What's the name of the stack? No, it depends on the app. So we're going to create an app layer later. So this is going to be maybe my PHP app. PHP app. Don't forget that that's going to be our app. So we're going to put it down here somewhere. Create an app, right? And that's going to be the name of the app, right? Very important. Okay, so we continue. It depends on the app. What else we have here? Properties. Properties. The stack ID. The stack ID, well, we have to refer to the stack. So that's going to be my demo stack, right? So we refer to that, right? All right, perfect. What else do we need? The type is going to be a PHP app. That's the type. The name of the layer, I'm going to call it my PHP layer, right? The short name is going to be PHP app. Now we have other components here like auto, assign, elastic, IPs. We say false. We always said false before, right? Auto assign elastic IPs false. Auto assign public IPs, we say true. And also we have enable auto healing, and we say true. And we saw that auto healing when we created this tag before. So auto assign elastic IPs false, auto assign public IPs true, enable auto healing true. Okay, so that's the layer. Layer is done, right? So now we're going to create the instance. Okay, remember that is stack layer instance app. That's the order. So creates an instance, right? An instance, and then we're going to say my OpsWorks instance. That's the name, logical name of the instance. Okay. So the type, remember that before when we created an EC2 instance, we said this, right? Right now we've created the instance from OpsWorks, so it's not going to be EC2, it's going to be OpsWorks, right? Now we have the properties of the instance, right? Stack ID, what stack is the instance going to be launched in, right? Or created in. So I'm going to refer to my demo stack right here, right? the layers ID, the layer IDs. Remember that we may have more than one layer. That's why we say layers or layer IDs. I'm going to refer to this guy, and I'm going to say every time that you have a plural thing here, you have to use the array symbol, right? Right? So that's the layer ID. The instance type. In this case, I'm going to use M1 small, right? The host name maybe the host name is going to be maybe demo PHP app. Okay. And the SSH key name is going to refer to the key name, right? Okay, that's the instance. We don't need anything else, right? Now we have the app, which is right here, right? We have the app here, right? Now the app is going to be of type AWS OpsWorks app. Properties. We have the stack ID where the app is going to be created. So we have the stack ID from here, right? The type of the app is going to be PHP, right? The name is going to be my demo app, right? Now the app source, this is when we have to put the GitHub repo. The app source is type git and the URL of the Git repository. We have to take it from here, right? Get it from here. And then we're going to say, well, this is the guy, right? And revision is going to be the master. That's the, if it is main, you have the main branch. That's where the code is. Then you will use here main instead of master. Okay. So that's it. That's it. That's all we need to launch that code. Okay. So let's review this little quick. So we have the parameters. The key name is the type, key pair, key name. We have the VPC ID of type VPC ID, as you can see here. Subnet of type subnet ID. Resources, we can stack. My demo stack. The type is OpsWorks stack. Properties, the name is web app stack. Service role is what we got from IAM. We just used the function join to join all the pieces and bring this, the whole thing here. We did the same with the instance profile. Okay, is that allows OpsWorks to create instances, right? We did the same thing, use the join function. The default SSH key name is the key name parameter. The VPC is the VPC ID parameter. The default subnet ID is the subnet ID parameter. The tags, the key is a stack name, and the value is the MOCFN of Works stack. We create a layer. The layer of types is a type OpsWorks layer. It depends on the application to be created. Properties, the stack ID refers to the demo stack. The type of the layer is PHP-AP app. The name is my HPAP layer. The short name is PHP app. We don't want to assign any elastic IPs. We want to assign public IPs because it's a web server, and we want this to auto heal. So we have here the name of the instance, my OpsWorks instance. The type is OpsWorks instance. Properties, we have the stack ID where it's going to be created. We refer to the demo stack. The layer's IDs is PHP layer. The instance type is m1.small. The host name, demo app, demo PHP app, and the SSH key name it refers to the parameter key name. We created an app, and then this is what's going to be deployed. We have OpsWorks app, that's the type. Properties stack ID refers to the stack that we created. The type is PHP. The name is my demo app. The app source is coming from GitHub, and the URL to the GitHub repository is this one. And then the branch where the code is master. So that's how you create a very simple template to be launched in CloudFormation, or to be uploaded CloudFormation, and then it will create the resources for us. So now what's left is to go there to CloudFormation and upload this guy. And let's see if it works. Okay, so let us go to CloudFormation now. So I'm going to get one of these tabs open, and I'm going to type CloudFormation. So that's what will take us there. And now let's create a stack with new resources. So the template is ready. Upload the file. Let's see what it works. So we're going to look for NCI deployment, right? And inside NCI deployment, everything is there. So we have CloudFormation, NCFN OpsWorks right here. So I'm just upload this guy, continue. I see that it works, right? It's asking me for the parameters. So stack name, my OpsWorks stack, and this is the name of the CloudFormation stack, okay? So I select the key that I have in my account, the subnet ID. I'm gonna use probably one of these guys. I'm gonna use, let me take a look at, I wanna see exactly which one is US East 1A, because I don't have the name, I have the ID, right? So US East 1A is gonna be the one in 14 CD. So I'm gonna look for that one. 14 CD is this one. And the VPC ID is the default VPC, the only one that I have. I don't have any other VPCs right now. So next, I just take a look at this. Everything is fine. Next, I can see the parameters that I selected right here, right? And create a stack. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Let's cross fingers that this will be created perfectly. So let me go ahead here and take a look at stacks. So right now I have my web app stack is created. It has a layer. This is so quick. So it has a layer that's been created right here, right? The layer is already my PHP layer. The app, it's already created. It's right there. And the instance is in the requested status. Okay, let's see what happens. So we're just waiting for this to change to pending and then booting, right? And at the end, it's going to be available online. Online is the last state, the last status. So we're just waiting for this. Let's see what happens. Everything else has been created, right? The app is created here. You see the Git source, and this is the repository URL, and this is the revision, the branch master. Okay. Let us say. Do you guys have any questions in the meantime? No? Okay. Okay, so, and by default, as you can see, it creates instance 24/7. When you create an instance, right, you have the opportunity to create a 24/7 time-based, load-based, right? But by default, 24/7 is selected, so you don't have to specify that. It will be created that way. Okay, let's see what happens. So it may take some time for that to be created. I must say that not all instances types are successful launched. I tried to do that micro before and it doesn't work. So I had to use M1 that small for that to work. Okay.
Professor, is there something like Amazon instance?
What do you mean the Amazon instance?
Yeah, there was a question that was,
yeah. Well, Amazon Linux too.
Yeah, but they didn't precise because I didn't choose it and I failed because I know that nothing doesn't exist like Amazon instance.
Well, if you have a Windows instance, that's not Amazon. That's Windows, right? That's Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right? But if you create an Amazon Linux, that's an Amazon instance. Okay, when you create an instance, you have several Amazon machine images, right? You have several operating systems, right? So you have a bunch of AMIs here. One of them is Amazon Linux 2. This is Amazon, right? If you have Ubuntu, that's Ubuntu. That's Linux, right? Ubuntu. Microsoft is Microsoft. Windows is Microsoft. That's not an Amazon Linux, Amazon machine or Amazon instance. The one that is Amazon is this one. This is Amazon Linux 2. Okay, I don't know if that answers your question, but this is an Amazon machine image. Right. Well, here we have that everything is complete. My demo stack is created complete. So the instance right now is booting. So it went from requested to pending to booting, and then it will go online, right? So it's just waiting for it. It takes some time, right? It takes some time, but it will be deployed at the end, right? It already provided a public IP, right? Right? A public IP, right? Which doesn't do anything yet because that's not being deployed, right? The app hasn't been deployed, but we already have a public IP, okay? Which is a good sign, right? We didn't have one when it was requested in the requested status, right? But now we have one, okay? Any other questions? Guys, do you have any questions of yesterday's exam in the meantime? Any questions?
My question is GitHub. I have to share my screen when you're done with this part.
Wait. All right. So still booting. I think that we're gonna stop the video now, and we're gonna continue with the part 2 when this is launched. Okay. So this will be the part number 1 for this